What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of FTB Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. Oh yeah, guys, so I figured today, since we've pretty much accomplished everything in the pack, we just kind of walk around, take a look at all of our original projects, things that we've built, things that we've done. Yeah, just kind of recap the series. So when we first started, we were over here, right? We kind of spawned in the ocean. I think right around here was our spawn point. Anyway, yeah, we started in the ocean, we climbed up the hill, we kind of looked around, everything was covered with trees. Yeah, so eventually we just kind of dug in right here to the side of the mountain, and yeah, this became our first starter base. Set up our first water wheels, kind of messing around with immersive engineering. I still think this stuff is pretty cool. I just wish we could have gotten more use out of it. Unfortunately, the way you transfer the power with the high voltage cables, they just lose power too frequently, and it's just not good for long distance moving. And eventually we just moved to Tesseracts to move the power around like we do. But yeah, learning about these water wheels and experimenting with them and all of this stuff, found out how to increase the maximum RF on these wheels from, was it that this is doing like 75? Yeah, we ended up increasing it to like 88 RF per tick. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. Our original machines and everything over here, redstone energy cell. Yeah, down this way is where we had our branch mine, and I did a lot of mining by hand trying to get that copper on this level. Yeah, lots of mining here. One of these levels, I can't remember where it was, we did find, I think, one of our first spawners. Maybe it was around here somewhere, I don't know. There's a spider somewhere. Yeah, we found an abandoned mine shaft a little bit later on though. So yeah, we still had more levels to go. So our copper level was there. Guess there is a node over here I never saw before because we never were into magic at this base. Yeah, we had our slime farm on this level. And then finally our diamond level down here. Yeah, lots and lots of mining. It doesn't seem that much anymore since we can run fast and all of this stuff. But at the time when we were digging all of this out, oh my goodness, we didn't have any speed increases. Everything was walking. We were still using like Tinker's tools with the 3x3, which made digging so much better and so much easier than at the very start. But still not like what it is now, where I can just wreck the entire world with the Draconic Staff of Power, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. So yeah, this was pretty cool. I'm glad we got past the mining by hand stage. When we got our Ender Quarry, that felt like we won the game at that point. I remember saying that. Yeah, that was really awesome. Down here was our original area where we were making our beef Wellingtons. Yeah, our power started off with the water wheels, and I decided to move on to the culinary generators. So we decided to set up a little modest patch here to make beef Wellingtons. I kind of figured out how to auto craft all this stuff. So we have, was a flour. What is this? I'm looking at the tooltip. I guess that's salt. I guess the texture, yeah, the texture must have changed since the start of the series. I never noticed that before, huh? So yeah, salt and flour, and then that all combined into the dough over here. And then we were using the Steve's Workshop crafting to craft these because the cyclic assembler wouldn't work. It saw the different vegetables that we have, the spinach and the mushrooms. Yeah, I saw those as list all veggies, and yeah, it just wouldn't work right. But yeah, that's pretty cool. This was how we got started with the beef Wellington, and then eventually we decided to upgrade and go overboard. And in fact, that farm is right over here from spawn. It's not super far away. But we didn't do this until after we moved to our new base. But yeah, Wellington Tower is right over here. And yeah, we did go kind of crazy. That's like the biggest crop fields you can do with the MFR harvester with one single one. Anyway, the maximum size, actually, is that the maximum size upgrade? There might be a bigger one. But anyway, that's the emerald upgrade. Nearly the maximum size, we'll say that, for all these different fields. We had built this over by our new base, our current base that we're at right now, but it turned out that with all the different plants growing 10, 10, 10, yeah, that many plants growing that fast caused an enormous amount of lag. So I built it once over by our current base, and then I had to rip it down, and I put it all the way over here. And this was our biggest power supply for the longest time. This worked wonderfully. We had so much power coming in thanks to all of these 8 times culinary generators. We never did upgrade those to the 32, but I don't think, or 64. I don't think that was ever necessary. But yeah, all of that, we ended up producing almost 3.5 million beef Wellington. Anybody hungry? Yeah, we still got a lot of that stuff here. We never really went through all that power. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so I'm trying to think of everything else that we did. I guess we explored the Nether a little bit, and we put in a wither skeleton farm was one of the things we did. That's not that interesting. I don't think there's really that much else we did in the Nether. So that kind of brings us back over to our current base where we set up here after kind of scouting around. Yeah, we came across this area, which was a bunch of different forests, which I kind of liked. Yeah. It's all the same color grass, which got my attention. We had this lake, and then we had like mountains surrounding the place. So I was like, you know, I think this sounds like a good place. We'll just dig into this mountain here and call that our base. I didn't think that was going to be our permanent base, but that's what it ended up being. So we ended up settling in here. Yep. We didn't build as many structures around as I thought we were going to. We have a silly little rubber farm. Yeah, we got our portal gun, and we ended up moving these blocks from the rubber wood trees over here using the fruit picker that was picking a whole lot of the resin. We got that right here, and this was being auto-crafted into the black rubber balls from IC2. I turned this off after a while when we had like 100,000 of these things. I've kind of processed some of them since then, but yeah, it just kind of felt silly just collecting these things and having this one single chunk loaded at the time since we didn't really have anything under the base. Now I think that chunk is loading. I think we might have all of this stuff loaded at this point. I don't remember. But yeah, we never really ended up building that much stuff around here. I built more water wheels over here. These are the ones that we found out how to increase to the 88 RF per tick version with the extra water sources back over here. It makes it look kind of silly, but maximum efficiency. Yeah, we were using the immersive engineering power cables to move all that power over to the base, and I think we were losing a lot of that power along the way. But yeah, I never took down these power cables. People said I should leave it here, so we did. But yeah, this hasn't been connected for a very, very long time. All right, so yeah, most of the stuff is inside this base here. We have our crazy laser area that we've been using for all of our lasering stuff. I did add 3 times the amount of lasers here, but they are no longer shown because I've put them down below. Yes, the lasers do work through the floor, but we don't have to look at them. So it's not quite as ugly looking. But yeah, when we are lasering something, you can definitely see all that stuff through the floor. Let's grab some redstone. Because we will type it in all caps. We're going to yell redstone. Not tab, caps lock. Yeah, so that's what we're looking like now when we laser stuff. Not as great looking, I don't think. Well, as soon as all of them turn blue anyway. When they're all different colors, that looks pretty terrible in my opinion. But yeah, that's what it looks like now. I kind of liked it when they're all coming from the one side, but you know, whatever. It's still quite fast, so can't complain with that at all. It's already done half a stack, so that's pretty awesome. Cool. Put the block back. Yeah, we have our QED area over here where we could do all of our, I guess, extra utility crafting. Our RF tools area over here, which I guess we're still powering our quarry world, which has provided us about 500,000 of these iridium reinforced plates. Yeah, we're never going to use them, but we're still making them. Why not? All right, so we kind of set up all of our machines over here. This is where we've been doing most of our processing, auto processing, all of our crafting and stuff. I never really set up like an area specific for the auto crafting. So I've kind of been using these machines for auto crafting and manual crafting, or I guess processing of different things. So yeah, every time I need to do something manually, I like reconfigure it and change it so I do it the manual way. But yeah, I kind of want to have this set up so we have like our thermal expansion machines over here, our Ender IO ones, our forestry ones, and then IC2, which kind of bled over and we had 2 separate sections hooked up. But yeah, since we moved all of our IC2 mass fabricator stuff to that quarry world, we haven't really had much use for at least a lot of the room that we were taking up over here. We still use these machines every once in a while, and one of these metal formers is set up for the cutting, which I don't think got used. Anyway, yeah, that's where all of our machines are hooked up. And then we just had like some brewing and our tinker station over here. The smeltery was still kind of like one of those things that we set up at the start, but I still get many uses out of this thing all the time. Never had to expand it to the bigger size. I kind of would like to do that at some point. Well, in the future, when I do Tinker's Construct, is make, the max size smeltery, but can't really do that here. It just would have taken up far too much room. Yeah, checking out the storage drawers for the first time, that was pretty cool. I like the compacting drawers combined with a storage bus and applied energistics. We were able to see both the blocks and what the blocks turn into at the same time, so you don't have to worry about, setting up recipes to turn an ingot into nuggets or turn nuggets into ingots and then those into blocks or whatever. This works out really well. I look forward to using this combination of things in the future. Hopefully storage drawers will be in the next mod pack that we use because I really like it. Yeah, and then some miscellaneous things we had over here. The printing press from Bibliocraft. I've never gotten a chance to use this in the past, but it turned out to be quite useful for duplicating soulbound books and all sorts of things like that. Yeah, we're keeping all of our enchanted books over here. There's a lot of things that I really wish I would have hooked up to Applied Energistics. Having this on a storage bus and then down in its own proper place probably would have made sense. I was also thinking we should have all of these bedrockium drums on fluid storage buses and have all of those in like their own room. But, playing expert mode, it just took so long to do everything. All the things that I wanted to do kind of were put on the back burner. Yeah, in place of all the things that we needed to do to progress. So anyway, we never really got to complete everything that I wanted to do. This was our IC2 nuclear reactor section over here. And this was kind of a fun project. It's kind of derpy. This room really wasn't needed, but I figured I'd have a little bit of fun, especially earlier on in the game where there wasn't a lot of stuff that we could do. So we have, a path to our nuclear reactor in here. We have what is this thing called? A reinforced door or whatever. It's supposed to be blast resistant. I don't know how blast resistant that is. We should test it, actually. Then we have the ore processing plant over here where we could drop in the crushed uranium, or maybe it was the uranium ores that got turned into the crushed uranium through the macerator, and then it got completely processed and turned into the fuel cells all the way over here. Yeah, this was a fun thing to figure out and play around with and get it all hooked up. I was pretty happy with this. Even though we never really got much use out of the IC2 reactors, still a fun project and I still like it. Yeah, so we have that room hooked up. And then in this room, we have a lever here where we can turn on a sprinkler and wash all the radiation off of us because that's legit. You got to have that. When you go into the nuclear reactor room, when you open this door, yeah, we put an alarm in there. So just to let us know, hey, got to be careful. Radiation. Yeah, this thing's been turned off for quite some time, actually. Have a lot of the depleted fuel rods here that I never did anything with because we didn't need to do anything with them. But yeah, that was kind of a fun project. I enjoyed doing that. Over here is where we started our bee laboratory area. We started with the genetic machines after we started breeding all the way to the infinity bee so we can unlock this mod. Oh my goodness, that was such a pain doing all those bees by hand. But once you get to the gendistry section, it makes everything so much easier. I know a lot of people are complaining about the bees, like they're stupid. Why would you ever want to do that? Well, I don't know. Maybe because they can produce all sorts of crazy resources like electrum, and I don't even remember what this is, argentum, like lead, diamonds, silver, gold. Yeah, pretty much every resource in the game, cobalt and ardite. Our bees have produced 10,000 cobalt ingots over time, so yeah, they might be difficult and they might be complicated to start out with at first, especially if you've never done the mod before, but they are definitely worth looking at with all the resources and materials they can give you. We also saw a little bit later on that when we got into the magic bees section, we were able to make crazy Thaumcraft aura nodes and just inject them with all sorts of different aspects. Really, really worth it. I would recommend giving it a shot if you never played with bees before. Cool. So, oh yeah, and then down on the very bottom floor was our server room, our applied energistics. I set up this auto processing thing for the different applied energistic processors, and I said I was gonna move it like right after I built this thing. It stayed here the entire time. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, I just put in a bunch of gold, silicon, and redstone. It would process all of those all the way over here into the logic processors or whatever. And I just do a bunch at a time. Stick them in the AE system and then forget about it. Anyway, that was all we did for our entire processor processing section. Just using the thermodynamic pipes and all of this stuff and a bunch of retriever nodes and all of this. Worked rather well. Never had a reason to upgrade it. And in fact, I think we still have quite a lot of those processors we haven't used. I've just gone through so many of them, or I've crafted so many of them is what I should say. So yeah, our applied energistics room, my idea for this is that I wanted a bunch of servers. So I kind of made this a clean room, tried to make server bank looking things, or using some of the chisel blocks up here, the malfunctioning fans, making it look like the old style hard drives that are spinning and doing things, or I guess tape backup drives or whatever. Unfortunately, there's only a couple of different blocks that look like this. And yeah, we kind of duplicated in all of them, so they all are doing the same exact thing at the same exact time, but whatever. I think it still looks pretty cool in my opinion. And then in the back over here was our auto crafting stuff. Yep, I don't think we ever filled up all the patterns for the auto crafting. That's why I never set up this last row back here for more auto crafting stuff. It just wasn't needed. But yeah, this is our applied energistics room. We were messing around with a multi-block ME controller with the dense cables and using P2P network connections to transfer these channels all over the place. I think we can go back here. Go back here to the outside and kind of look at some of these cables and where they're going and what they're doing. They just run all over the place, taking care of all of our network connection needs. So good. I love applied energistics. One of my favorite mods, I would say. Cool. So let's go ahead and put all this stuff back away. I guess fill in the wall. Yeah, cool. So once we got most of this stuff done, we were kind of out of room for expanding. There was nowhere else to go. I decided since we needed to start looking at the magic mods, the next best thing would be to go across the lake and then down. So we connected over to that same area. So our lasers under the floor over here, our ICT power, those cables we were just looking at. There's a reactor room in the blast-proof Ender IO fused quartz blocks. Yeah, so we opened this up over here, and we were going to start setting up all the magic stuff. But because expert mode, we never really had a lot of time to flesh it out, put up walls, make it look nice. So our witchery area is just kind of like its own nature, underground biome kind of a thing with all the different witchery stuff strewn about. Yeah, it doesn't look so good, I admit it. But, you know, we were working on stuff. We never really had a chance to perfect everything. This room right here, again, I placed blocks saying it's temporary, ended up being permanent. Even though I asked you guys for some suggestions on what we could do with this room, there was a lot of great suggestions that were given to me. I just never got around to pertifying the room. Yeah. Lots of time spent like gathering resources, crafting things, this and that. Just not a lot of time for aesthetics, unfortunately. So we have our blood altars over here. We finally just set up as a tier 6, the maximum. Getting these crystal clusters took forever to do. We had to do the demon invasion and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. The computer program that I have right here for the blood magic, this is really, really nice just to tell how much life essence is in your blood altar and when to use the sacrificial orb, especially earlier on when you start with blood magic at the very start. Very, very helpful. Trying to think if there's anything else over here worth talking about. I don't really think so. Yeah, we have our Thaumcraft over here. Yeah, the bees for the Thaumcraft nodes. These things are getting out of control. Look at how big that is. It's like stretching all the way over there to the infusion altar or whatever. The arcane infuser. Yeah, these nodes are getting pretty big. This one is almost 4,000 in every single aspect. You know, one of the things that I said that I wanted to do was to take one of these nodes before we end the series. Let's take this one. I think that is the biggest one. We'll take one of these nodes and we will turn it into an energized node just to see what that looks like. Do I have like a huge aura around me? I kind of do. That's awesome. Very cool. Okay, so I think what we should do, let's go ahead and wrong button. Let's depower the energized node here. Yeah, eventually this will run out of stuff, I think, or I'll just turn back into a regular node. I forget how that works. If I have to drain all the stuff out of there before it turns into a regular node. But yeah, eventually this thing will depower, and then I can break the node and replace it with this one, which we're going to do. The infusion altar over here, we ended up having to put in so many of these arcane pedestals to do our final craft with the creative mana pool. But yeah, that was no problem. All we had to do was just put a 9x9 thing of skeleton skulls. I guess we could have used practically any type of skulls. 3 layers deep, and even though it's not perfectly symmetrical, because we have this AE cable running up here to our infusion provider, yeah, we never had a single problem with any of our crafting. It was all good. So, sounds like that node finally depowered. All right. Yeah, it's weird. It like shows all the icons on it now. Let us grab a wand over here, and I think I need a lever. Stick. And a cobblestone. Yeah, I'll just put a lever next to that and unstabilize it, then we'll break it. I'm trying to think, I need my wand as well, pretty sure. Did I throw that on the ground? I did. I felt like I did, I wasn't quite sure. Okay, so we will go ahead, depower that. Okay, so that's just a regular node now, completely empty. Oh no, I guess it's got vacuous of 1 for some reason. Get wrecked, node. All right, so that one's gone. We will put this one in. This is our biggest node so far. We can turn this lever off, and all we gotta do is just click that with the wand. Boop. That's a big old node there. Yeah, so that should be stabilized. We gotta provide this one on top with the redstone signal, and that'll turn it into the energized node. Cool. Man, that thing is so bright. You can't even see like the stabilized thing around it. Anyway, that's going to take a minute for that to turn into an energized node, and that will replace the laser beam that went over to our V relay that was powering all of our arcane crafting terminals. That'll allow us to recharge our wand and stuff. So yeah, we have applied energistics hooked up, thaumic energistics hooked up with a whole bunch of our different essentia smelted and stored on our discs, which was really, really awesome. Yeah, I enjoyed messing around with that and hooking up the Thaumcraft stuff to applied energistics. Made it feel a little bit more like a tech mod, kinda, sort of. At least it gave it a little bit of the tech qualities. Is this thing? No, it's still, oh, there it goes. All right, so there's our laser beam. All right, so it looks like we have about 70 of each aspect, and I think the one we had before was about 45. I don't remember. But anyway, that's, you know, thanks to our bees just setting up, what were these? The empowering bees? Yeah, we have a bunch of hives here. I think there's 25 hives, and with the empowering trait, it is just supercharging all these nodes and giving them a ridiculous amount of aspects. Yep, I know a lot of people like doing the hungry node and dropping, what is it, crafting tables into it to gain aspects. You might be able to get it faster, I don't know, but this way it's just kind of like you don't have to do anything. You set it down, you walk away, you come back, you have a big node. So I really enjoy this method. Cool. I guess one other thing, let's head back home actually. Well, we should go check out the botania area. We haven't really checked this out. And this was our first mob farm over here. Yeah, we had, how did we have this set up? We have drawbridges in there that have cursed earth. So when we flip a lever, it extends the cursed earth out over here, and then also turns on these fans to blow the mobs off the cursed earth down here onto conveyor belts. Yep, and then they get poked by the spikes to death. We have kind of like a rudimentary sorting system to clear out all of the different armors and things like that. And then all of the mob drops we wanted, we had going through an ender chest back to the base into our storage system. So yeah, that was all pretty cool. I like this setup. Yeah. So we set up a botania area over here, and I was trying to figure out a good way to get automatic mana being filled up. So I came up with this method where we have droppers being filled up with blaze rods. We ended up using hollow compressed, or I guess hollow slabs. They are a slab with a hole in the center to keep the item mostly centered, so they drop straight down on top of our mana spreader, and then our endo flames down here would be able to see that and then pull the fuel and start providing mana. Yeah, that's the way we had this set up. I know a lot of people were confused. Why didn't you do the pressure plate method and all that stuff? The whole point was, with this method, when everything's full, all your mana pools are full, it doesn't keep dropping blaze rods. So you don't get a buildup, you don't start despawning them, everything just turns off. And that's the way I wanted it to be, so I was pretty happy with this whole setup here. We finally got the Elven portal. Yep, and we can use these, I guess this pressure plate to isolate our sparks so they aren't drawing mana all the time when the portal is on. Yeah, just a simple pressure plate like that will turn those isolation sparks on and off using the Spark Tinkerer, which is pretty cool. But yeah, first time setting up one of these portals, I was pretty happy about all of that. I found it to be pretty easy. And then also over here, wasn't it? Yeah, right here. We did a lot of the Gaia, or the Guardian of Gaia fights. This is the first time I've ever experienced this boss fight in recent memory. I think I fought it once before, a long time ago, but the fight was definitely different. It didn't have all the crazy music that it has now. This was a lot of fun to set up and actually figure out for the first time. Yep. So botania area over here. I'm trying to think. I think the last thing we haven't seen yet is our power supply. Yeah, so after we set up the Beef Wellington, our Wellington Towers, we eventually moved on to a big reactor, and this was powering our base for a while. We had a bunch of energy cells inside the base that was storing the power. This would fill those up, and then the energy cells would power the base. Eventually, we got to the point where it just wasn't working like I needed it to. Things were kind of bugging out a little bit, and we got into Draconic Evolution. So we made this big guy right here, our Draconic Evolution Power Storage. Does this have a name? It's just a Draconic Evolution invisible multi-block name. Yeah, I think it's just the energy core or something like that. Anyway, this thing can hold like 2 trillion RF. It's ridiculous. We haven't been powering this thing up since it got full. It's still not even halfway empty yet. We've been running off this thing for weeks. I don't even remember when it was that I turned off our power over here, but yeah, it's been weeks. So yeah, holds a ridiculous amount of power, keeps everything powered up. All of the power that we're using right now is coming directly off our core, being sent through our, whatever this thing is, I can't remember. I can't even look at it. Anyway, it's being sent through this, it's an energy pylon is what it is, into a Tesseract, and our Tesseract is providing the power for everywhere else. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. The one thing I did want to check out though, yeah, I want to see our nuclear reactor room. This is a question that I had a long time ago. Since we surrounded everything that blast-proof glass, we built the safest reactor, so there really wasn't a point in doing that. It never would have blown up. But I want to find out what happens if we were to blow up a reactor in the base. But instead of blowing up that reactor, I think we're going to go big. I think I want to do the IC2 nuke. Yeah, this thing, we can actually craft that in this mod pack. Some mod packs have this disabled, which I think is smart, especially for servers. But yeah, we can craft this. It's not super difficult. Some tin, some coal, some copper. Not bad at all. I don't even know why that turns into a nuke. There's nothing radioactive in this. Is there? Advanced machine casing. There's no radiation in this. But yeah, we can make the nuke. So I think we're going to go ahead and make one of these. We're going to stick it into that reactor room, light it off, and just see what happens. See how well that protects the base. Oh my goodness, guys. I feel like I shouldn't do this, but we're gonna. So, nuke. Oh, does that not work? Okay, fine. I was thinking that would work. Why doesn't that work? Does it not? Let's try over here. Do I need a flint and steel to set this thing off? Let's try this. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. 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 I forgot. So with the nuke, yeah, you have to put in like, I think TNT. I think that's what the problem is. So I haven't really experienced the nuke for a while. I tried it in creative mode a long time ago. I forgot about the whole TNT thing. So let's, in fact, I think industrial TNT might be better. I can't remember. So we'll do like 6 things of TNT, and then we need some kind of a radioactive material in the center. Plutonium? Sure. Okay, we'll deal with the tick damage. All right, let's try this once again. I guess we'll stick it back here. Oh, maybe you do need the industrial TNT. Okay, okay. I wasn't aware that you absolutely needed it. I thought that was just an option. So we will make industrial TNT. This won't be too bad. So it is flint plus TNT. TNT, it's dynamite. All right, so we'll do that. Do we have enough? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 stacks. We are out of flint. Oh man. Why do we have to run out of flint? But we have an autocraft, so it's all fine. It's all good. There we go. So I think that should be enough. Cool. Let's go try this once again. Hopefully it works this time. Oh, wait. Oh, you just stick it in one and it fills up all of them. Okay, so I made way too much. So we got plutonium, and then we got industrial TNT. Rip. Just to stop it. I don't think that will kill me, to be honest. Even if the explosion does come out of the door, I don't think that's going to kill me because of the draconic armor. Well... okay. So, yeah. That's what happens. So the glass is still here. The tesseract is still there. The door did not block the explosion completely. Maybe it made it smaller than what it would have been. But yeah, you can definitely see the explosion went this way. And I do believe all of our base is safe. Let's just go upstairs and make sure nothing up here. Oh, there's a little bit of a hole right here. I see a dirt block. It looks like the majority of our base did in fact stay safe though. So that quartz glass is definitely the way to go. If you're ever setting up a reactor and you're not quite sure how to get it set up and you don't want it to destroy everything, looks like all of our applied energistics directly below is just fine. The only thing is, yeah, we did lose some of our P2P wires over here, but that's not a big deal. By the way, guys, did I mention I backed up my world before we did this? Yeah, I backed up my world before we did this because I'm not that stupid. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this entire series of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. I'll probably try to get a world download for you guys. I'll probably have a link somewhere or something like that. If it's not in there when the video is released, just check back later. It will be there for a certain amount of time. It won't be there for forever. So anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'll probably also put like some kind of a poll down in the description for a little bit of time as well. It won't be there for forever, but yeah, something for you guys to vote on for the next mod pack for us to play. I haven't quite decided what I want to play yet, but yeah, check out the poll. I'll hear what you guys' feedback is. That might influence my decision. It's still going to be my choice, whichever one we decide to play. But yeah, that's it for this series of Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. I hope you guys liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed this mod pack. I wasn't sure at the very start. Oh, you know, one more thing before we go. Nope, wrong button. This button. Playtime. Check that out. 32.5 days. 780 hours, guys. 780 hours. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a lot of time that I put into this. Now, some of that was AFK time. Most of that was actual playtime. 780 hours. All right, guys, that's it for this series. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.